something snapped inside Chicago. The locker room that once buzzed with confidence now hums with quiet resentment. And at the center of that storm stands Angel Reese, a player once hailed as the future face of women's basketball, now fighting to keep her own reputation alive. The cameras still flash when she walks in, but the whispers have gotten louder. Teammates avoiding eye contact, coaches tightening their lips, and fans asking the question nobody thought they'd ever have to ask. Has Angel Reese already burned every bridge before her career even truly began? It didn't start this way. Reese entered the league with fire in her veins and the swagger of a rising icon. She'd conquered college basketball with charisma, confidence, and a chip on her shoulder big enough to move mountains. But what was once the Bayou Barbie's magic turned into a magnet for controversy. And that transformation, from hero to headline, happened faster than anyone expected. The truth? It wasn't just about basketball. It was about ego, leadership, and how the spotlight that builds you up can just as easily burn you alive. Because while the WNBA's marketing machine was busy painting her as a trailblazer, behind closed doors a very different story was unfolding. The Chicago Sky weren't supposed to be a disaster. 4 years earlier, they were champions. Confetti in the air, champagne on jerseys, fans screaming their names. Now, they're 9-30, the league's worst record. Players are calling the organization the most dysfunctional in the WNBA. And right in the middle stands Angel Reese, the woman the franchise bet its future on. At first, the signs looked harmless. Vague social posts, a few cryptic captions. Making decisions for yourself is liberating. But behind the emojis and filters, insiders say there was tension boiling. The coaches felt it, the veterans saw it, and soon the fans would too. It all came to a head one night, the kind of moment that defines a career. Timeout. Game on the line. The assistant coach leans in with the clipboard, drawing up the next play, and then smack. Angel Reese knocks the clipboard clean out of their hands. Right there, in front of the cameras, in front of the world. Was it frustration, passion, disrespect? Depends who you ask. But one thing was certain. That wasn't leadership. That was a message. A message that said, I'm done listening. And that's when everything started unraveling. The chemistry vanished. Teammates stopped passing her the ball, even when she was open. Possessions fell apart. Shots clanked off the rim while she called for the rock. Ignored. And then came the press conference that felt more like a public breakup. Veteran Elizabeth Williams sat beside Reese after another ugly loss. Asked about turnovers, she didn't hesitate. She said what everyone was thinking, but no one had dared to say, "We've got to take care of the ball better." The tone said it all. A direct jab at the league's turnover leader, sitting right beside her. Now that's not just tension. That's a team at war with itself. And when your locker room fractures, the stat sheet doesn't matter. The Chicago Sky weren't just losing games. They were losing trust. But this isn't the first time Reese faced adversity. Go back to her Maryland days. Remember that? When the going got tough, she transferred to LSU. Critics labeled her the Queen of Quit. She brushed it off, reinvented herself, and turned that nickname into motivation. For a while it worked. She dominated March Madness, strutted through interviews, and became a viral icon. But history has a way of repeating itself, especially when lessons go unlearned. Because when Chicago's season spiraled, another mystery appeared. A sudden back injury. No clear diagnosis, no return date. Weeks passed and whispers turned into questions. Was she hurt or hiding? Then came the stats that no marketing spin could save. 44% shooting. Turnovers almost doubled. And the kicker? Chicago actually performed better when she wasn't on the floor. Those aren't franchise cornerstone numbers. Those are red flags. Front offices noticed. Calls went quiet. Trade value plummeted. It's one thing to struggle, every rookie does. But it's another to bring drama with you wherever you go. Because in a league built on chemistry, no GM wants a ticking time bomb. Meanwhile, across the country, another rookie was rewriting the narrative. Caitlin Clark, calm, focused, absorbing more pressure than any college player ever had. She took elbows to the ribs, hate from the stands, and cameras in her face every night. And through it all, she smiled, adjusted, and delivered. No tantrums, no cryptic tweets, just numbers, leadership, and poise. That contrast hurt more than any stat sheet, because while Clark was breaking records, Reese was breaking huddles. While Clark was lifting her team, Reese was lifting her phone to post another reaction, and fans started to notice. The conversation shifted from "she's the future" to "what happened to her?" It wasn't just about talent anymore, it was about maturity. And in that department, the gap between Clark and Reese wasn't a line. It was a canyon. Inside Chicago's front office, the tone changed too. No more special treatment. No more bending the rules to keep her happy. The franchise that once saw her as untouchable now viewed her as replaceable. And when that happens in professional sports, the clock starts ticking. Still, the irony was almost poetic. The same organization that once bragged about its star of the future started posting player of the game graphics after losses, featuring Reese. Imagine that, celebrating defeat as if it were glory. That's not empowerment, that's delusion. The team had become a brand factory instead of a basketball team, and Reese was its poster child. But the one thing branding can't disguise is the scoreboard, because you can't Photoshop wins. What's wild is that the WNBA itself helped build this monster. They wanted a personality to push. Someone flashy, unapologetic, marketable. And Angel Reese fit that mold perfectly. She wasn't just a player, she was a narrative, a cultural symbol, a walking headline. But when the storyline overtakes the stat line, reality hits hard. The league celebrated her energy. The fans loved her confidence, but confidence without discipline becomes chaos. And that's exactly what unfolded in Chicago. Now here's the question the video leaves hanging in the air. Was Angel Reese the victim of a broken system, or the cause of its collapse? Because on paper, she had everything: endorsements, fans, exposure. But behind the numbers was a player who seemed to fight everyone except the opponent in front of her. Teammates, tense, coaches, fired, fans, divided, opponents, thriving. And that right there is the cruel irony of fame. When the world crowns you too early, you start believing you've already arrived. But the moment you stop climbing, gravity takes over. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu are building legacies the hard way. Grinding, adjusting, leading. They're showing what true professionalism looks like under pressure. No theatrics, just results. For Reese, the spotlight that once elevated her now exposes her flaws. The same cameras that captured her triumphs now capture her tantrums. And when public opinion flips, it flips fast. You go from next big thing to what went wrong overnight. Let's pause right there. If you've been following this drama and want unfiltered breakdowns like this one every week, stories the mainstream outlets won't touch, make sure to hit that button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay in the loop. All right, back to the chaos. Because what happens next might be even worse for her than the losses. The rumor mill says no team is eager to touch this situation. Not because of her talent, she can rebound like few others, but because of the baggage. No one wants to inherit the storm, and when a player's name becomes synonymous with conflict, the offers dry up. Her brand agents can't fix that. Her social media following can't fix that. Only humility can, and that's the one place she hasn't run yet. Chicago, meanwhile, seems to have accepted the truth. They're quietly rebuilding around players who want to be there. No more celebrity worship, just work. And that shift sends a message louder than any press release. We're moving on. But the question still lingers. Does Angel Reese realize it? Or does she still believe she's the center of a league that's already outgrown the drama? Every empire built on hype eventually faces its reckoning. And for Reese, that reckoning isn't coming someday. It's already here. Imagine the irony of fighting for attention so fiercely that when you finally get it, it's all for the wrong reasons. That's where she is now. A name trending for controversy, not consistency. A career defined more by what-ifs than what happened. But maybe, just maybe, there's still time for a turnaround. Because under all the noise, like the posts, the headlines, the tension, there's still that player who dominated LSU. That competitor who thrived under pressure when she wanted to prove people wrong. That energy doesn't just disappear, it gets buried under ego, pride, and pain. If she can dig it back out, if she can silence the noise and rediscover the discipline, there's a redemption arc waiting. Sports love a comeback, and the same fans tearing you down will cheer even louder when you rise again. But that requires change, and change means accountability. Because you can't lead a team while fighting everyone in it. You can't claim championship mindset while posting subtweets, and you can't call yourself that girl if you fold when the lights get too bright. So here's where things stand. Angel Reese is at a crossroads, 2 paths ahead, down one path. Humility, growth, a second chance at greatness. Down the other, fading relevance, dwindling offers, and the slow realization that fame is temporary when it's not built on your foundation. Which path she takes will define not just her career, but her legacy. Because the WNBA doesn't need another influencer. It needs a leader. If she chooses the first path, the story flips overnight. The same critics who mock her now will call her resilient. The same headlines dragging her will turn to redemption arcs. And the same fans questioning her will rally behind her. But if she stays on this current course, blaming, posting, deflecting, then this meltdown isn't a moment. It's a mirror. A reflection of potential wasted by pride. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark keeps rising. Every record broken, every sold-out arena, every handshake after a hard foul. All reminders that professionalism isn't boring, it's powerful. That consistency beats chaos every single time. And that's the haunting truth Angel Reese has to face. Talent opens the door, but character decides whether you stay inside. In the end, every generation produces its cautionary tale. The star who had everything and lost it chasing validation. Right now, that story is being written in Chicago. But whether it ends as tragedy or triumph depends entirely on what Angel Reese does next. Because if she doesn't change soon, the league will move on without her. And the BA, just like life, has a brutal rule. You're only irreplaceable until you're not. So maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's the wake-up call she needed. A reminder that hype fades, but hard work echoes. That leadership isn't about spotlight, it's about sacrifice. If she can learn that lesson, really learn it, her comeback could be legendary. But if not, she'll be remembered not for what she built, but for what she burned. Because in the world of professional sports, every downfall is just one decision away from redemption or ruin. And Angel Reese, she's standing right on that line.